Hi everyone, it's Irit with a tutorial for Faber Castell Design Memory Craft, and I am starting my project with a nice layer of gesso, and I'm using this kind of silicone applicator thing to apply it. I love it because it's not a brush and I hate cleaning brushes, so this is working perfect for me. And I'm not applying the gesso on the whole page because I know I'm only going to add more gelatos and other media on parts of it. So this month for my project I'm really focusing on gelatos, and this whole week there's going to be lots of projects with double scoop gelatos, which are the bigger size, and I have a few and I tried to use the ones I had for this layout, but I end up, because I love color, I end up also adding some more. So I'm just playing around. My gesso is actually not completely dry, and my thinking was that if I add the gelatos and kind of mix them with my gesso while it's still wet. Later, if I remove layers, that first layer that is mixed into the gesso will remain as it is. And I think for the most part, the theory in that is correct. But I think a better way to achieve that would be just to mix your gesso with whatever gelato you want right from the beginning before you apply it to your paper, because I added a very thin layer of gesso and it was pretty much dry, so I couldn't really incorporate the gelato into it. It was more just sitting on top of it. So I'm just building my background and I'm using some of my favorite colors. It's guava and the metallic melon, I think the name is. It's this lovely kind of coral pink. It's just beautiful. So I'm just starting with that, and I'm using my fingers and some water and some wet wipes to blend the color. And now everything is dry. I'm going to add some more layers, and I'm going with kind of a color scheme of pinks and a little bit peach and yellow. And these are like one of my favorite colors to work with. I just think it always looks so happy, and yeah, I really love it, and I really love the shades I get when I mix this bright yellow with the peach and then with the hot pink. And you can find on the Design Memory Craft blog a full list of all the supplies that I used and all the colors, so it's all written there. You don't have to worry about this while you're watching. Just enjoy, and feel free to check it out later if you want. So at this stage I'm just playing around with my background. I'm just mixing the colors and adding some water and letting it flow, and just blending some with my fingers and wet wipes, just adding some more of that yellow in other places, spreading it around. And now I'm using this stencil and a wet baby wipe to remove some of the gelatos, and I think I did it also in my last couple of videos. My first one for sure, because this is one of my favorite techniques, removing the gelatos with a stencil, and you have to prep your paper with gesso to be able to use this technique. If you don't, the gelatos will just sink into your paper and you won't be able to remove it. So I'm just doing that, and this really creates this fun custom-made background. And of course you can use whatever colors you want and whatever stencil you have. It will all work really lovely. I love flowers, so I decided to go with that. And now I'm kind of experimenting, and I took a piece of paper, like this mixed media paper, and I'm adding a layer of whipped speckle, and this is a very, very light modeling paste, and I'm trying to create a somewhat even layer. And now I'm also going to apply it through the same stencil, and I really like just repeating the word escapes me, elements, repeating elements on my layout. And as I said, I was just like experimenting. I wanted to see what will happen, because I wanted to stamp into the whipped speckle. And it actually worked really well. The only problem was that my stamp was a little bit dirty. But, well, so first of all, make sure your stamp is clean. And then the next thing is you can always like just add a very, very like thin layer of gesso and make everything white and pretty again. So here I'm doing my stamping, and as you can see, it's a little bit dirty, but I'm also gonna add some gelatos on top of it, so I'm not worried. And just make sure you clean your stamp. I actually wetted mine, like sprayed a little bit water on mine before I stamped into the whipped speckle, just to make sure I'll get a better impression. And now everything is dry, and I'm adding some gelatos in the same colors that I used for the background. And it just blends really, really easily, either with your finger or some water or wet wipe, anything goes. And so I have here the two different techniques. One is just one is the stamp on the whipped speckle, and the other one is just the whipped speckle through a stencil. And yeah, I think they both look cool, and they both make it to the final layout. Just I cut them up a little bit, the yellow one. But this one will stay the same. So now I had this idea, and this was also kind of experiment, and I'm using the glass bead glitter gel, and this is white now, but it dries clear, and I was curious how it would look as a layer on my flowers, and I added a very, very, very generous layer. And I really like how it looks, but the thing to remember is that I lost some of the details, especially because I didn't stamp the flower in black or anything. It was all just painted with gelatos. So now I have my background and I have my embellishments, and I just want to add some more texture behind my photo. So I'm using another stencil and whipped speckle to just add these nice shapes behind my photo. And now I'm immediately going to clean my stencil and let the whipped speckle dry. It doesn't need a long time to dry, but I would give it at least like a half an hour. And yeah, that's kind of it. All my elements are ready, just a question of where to place what. And I also pulled some of these fabric flowers. They are made by Prima, and I painted them in my last tutorial, and then I end up not using them, but they worked really lovely here, so I used some of them on this layout. And I'm just taking this is Amy Tan Rise and Shine 6x6 paper pad, and I'm choosing a yellow pattern paper to mat my photo. And now I'm just going to cut most of the flowers. I'm going to cut them in half, so then I can use them in two places, and also it's going to make things a little bit easier to insert under my photo and other layers. And in one of the I added some sequins to my photo. I really enjoy lately adding things to my photos. So these sequins are from Maggie Holmes confetti, and I also added some in the center of my glitter flower. And I'm gonna add my title with these golden thickers. They are foam thickers, and they are also Amy Tan. And I'm just playing around with the placement, and that's where they will end up. So with some hot glue, I'm adding my flower. I really like all the dimension on this layout. And I also matted my white paper on a piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper. And I'm just playing around now with the flowers. I try to place them so it's like a tone-on-tone look, the pink flowers on the areas that are pink in the background. And I'm also going to add some of that yellow glitter flower there at the top. And some sequins around the page. And another little thing that makes it to the page is this cute flare button, which is from a Flare for Buttons. It's an Etsy shop, and they have really, really cool flares. And yeah, that's pretty much it to this layout. So very, very, you know, springy, floral. Just, I love these colors. They always make me happy, and I never get tired of using them. And I think like one of the things that I like to do, and you can see that also in my other projects, is that when I use lots of color in mixed media, I really try to leave some white space. And you can see here that about a third of my layout is just white, and I didn't do anything to it. So it's just a look that I prefer. It's a complete personal preference. I just like to give like the eye some space and not to overwhelm. But this like background, for example, would work really well as a full page, a art journal page, a card, anything of that sort. And that's it. I adhered all my little bits and pieces. I added some sequins here and there. And the last thing that I'm going to add is going to be some like mist splatters. I'm just going to add some gold mist splatters. And that's it. This is my finished layout. So don't forget, you can see step-by-step photos and a full list of all the products I used on the Design Memory Craft blog. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. And yeah, have a great day. Bye.